been looking for a job for a while now, and for some reason you just can't seem to find anybody. You keep on getting ghosted from recruiters, or you just basically get automated declines for any type of interviews, or just saying that, hey, this position has already been filled, or we're no longer looking for candidates because we have closed this position or whatever. And this seems to be a very common thing. And you think that this is all happening just to you because there's something wrong with you in particular, and there's something wrong with your resume, or basically you're just not doing something right from the get-go. Now, here's the thing. While it's very easy to get caught up in all the things that you might be doing wrong, I'm very certain that a lot of people have tried their absolute best to help you, and you have tried your absolute best to look like the best candidate as possible according to your experience and the job positions that you actually are applying to. Now, here is what I want you to remember. Finding a job right now is not easy whatsoever, okay? It is extremely difficult. It is not easy for anyone. So any experience that you're actually going through right now, it's a universal shared experience that everybody is going through. Everybody that is actually looking for another job at the moment seems to not be able to find anything at all. Now, while all the numbers might be supporting the companies and all of these positions that you see on LinkedIn and all these different websites and all of these different job boards that you see might have a ton of positions that are actually listed of companies that are hiring, and you keep on applying to them and you keep on getting rejected from them, that is not necessarily the reality of things. See, companies have started doing something called, which is a very shady practice by the way, called ghost postings, which means in reality, they have absolutely no intention of filling the position because that position just doesn't exist within the company in the first place. It's just something that they're just putting out there just because they want to make sure that their company looks good, their company is still going towards growth, even though it's actually not, and that they're not necessarily worried about any economy collapse or recession or, depression for that matter. Why are companies doing this? Obviously, it's basically just a PR stunt as well. And I'm sure it goes a little bit deeper into that because I'm sure there's some type of financial incentive. One of the other working theories that I've kind of heard is that companies keep on doing that because they want to show their teams that are basically understaffed that, hey, look, we're still looking for people to fill this position and we're interviewing folks as well. But obviously, we're just not able to find the right candidate to fit the team right now. So that is why you guys are going to have to keep on working overtime or just, pick up the load and pick up the slack just to basically keep on boosting morale. That's a great working theory. I do think that there's some merit to that as well. And I do think that it's all a facade, right? So I've had people actually tell me, friends of mine, that they've been ghosted by recruiters. They have interviewed with multiple companies and they just are not able to find any jobs, even though their resumes will literally match all the job requirements, the job responsibilities that the position actually demands them to fill. And it's such a brutal feeling, obviously. Who doesn't want to have a job? Who wants to just sit around and be unemployed? I would love to not have a job, but I obviously need money. So I'm going to keep on working my job, right? And it's just one of those things where everybody is just struggling with it in this job economy. So that's one of the very first things that I want you to remember is that you're not going through this alone, that you're not some type of special person that only you are facing this problem because you have absolutely no experience or education, or maybe you just don't feel like you're educated enough. I promise you, more times than not, it's not really incompetency that is not getting you a job. It's really just the job market itself. So what exactly can you do about that? Well, first of all, I'm very sorry to say I don't really think that there's anything that we can necessarily do about it, because at the end of the day, it is a global economy at scale. It's basically just the job market itself. But the one thing that obviously you have power over is just making sure that your resume is right, making sure that you're using the keywords to filter out in your AI system, making sure that you actually have multiple copies of your resume and switch it up a little bit so that you can accommodate the job titles as well. So for example, if you're applying to a business analyst role, then you have a business analyst resume that has some keywords like presentations, stakeholder meetings, and whatnot. Like, you have that on your resume. Whereas if you're applying for a project manager role, then you have something like, hey, managing projects and whatnot. Like, Google the keywords that will be synonymous with the job title that you are actually going for. Use ChatGPT, copy and paste all the different job responsibilities from that job post itself, and then tell ChatGPT to like model your resume accordingly to that as well. All of these tools that you have on your disposal for free, use them. Make sure your friends look over your resume, of course. And obviously, dude, if you haven't already, don't be embarrassed to ask any of your friends or your colleagues or like even old acquaintances for a job, for a referral. That is basically how we will always survive. The best way to get a job is always through a referral, and that's a time-proven and time-tested theory as well. So make sure that you're actually reaching out to your connections as well, alongside with making sure your resume is up to date. And remember, it's not you, dude. It's just that the economy is complete crap at the moment. Everybody is struggling to find a job, regardless of whether you're a really good candidate or not, okay? These times are very unprecedented, and I feel like we've kind of been saying that for a while now. Like, we've been saying that for about like 4 or 5 years now, that these are very unprecedented times, obviously because of everything that happened with the pandemic. And then, you know, we had like this entire like work from home thing, and then we had like the great resignation as well. And now it's like everybody is just completely petrified and terrified of, you know, what's going to happen next. And because of that fear that we have for the future, we're all just like, oh my God, what's going to happen? Us as people and also as companies, we're just like, oh my God, like, we need to prepare for the future. So obviously companies are also withholding their money and getting their cash reserves up because they're anticipating a future recession and future layoffs as well. I know I'm currently in the tech sector. Obviously 2024 came off to a very horrendous start for everybody with tech jobs because tech companies laid off so many different people, and that's really never happens. But obviously it happened because so many different companies were actually over hiring in COVID time because they were just like throwing money, and there was just so much money that was pumped into the economy, and all these different corporations were just like throwing money around like there was no tomorrow. Like, we were just printing endless money, which we kind of were, to be honest with you. But now we are starting to feel the effects of that. But I want you to make sure that you're just sticking in there. You're not just beating yourself up for not being able to find a job, because I promise you, your self-worth is much more than just the job that you are actually with, okay? If your self-worth was actually tied to, you know, whatever job that you're actually doing, that means that garbage men or like janitors would absolutely have no respect. And we all know that that is not true. They are people too. They have dreams, they have goals, they have everything that we want in life as well. So remember that and keep on going. All right, don't get discouraged just because you keep on getting no's, because all it takes is one yes until your life can actually turn around. So keep on applying, man. Just like you would never tell your friend to just give up, that there's no point in living, there's no point in looking for a job, you should also extend that same courtesy to yourself. Talk to yourself properly about this and understand that it is hard. It is not just hard for you, it is hard for everybody, okay? So yeah, man, keep your head up. And if there's anything that I can potentially do to help, I can look over your resume as well, man. Just leave it in the comments, like, or shoot me an email as well. You could probably find it on my channel. And I'll see you guys in the next episode. Thank you guys so much for tuning in into the Daily Lessons podcast. This was episode number 127. And if you found this beneficial, or if you enjoyed just me talking to you, make sure to hit that subscribe button, because it means the absolute world to me. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.